Welcome back to the show. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Yohei Endo, and we get to talk about his experiences with bullying in Japan and also his experiences with Christ and how Christ has brought significance and meaning to his life. Let's get right to the episode.
All right, Yohei, thank you so much for joining me today. Everybody,
Hi.
this is Yohei. Yohei's from Japan, and we met through Bible college actually. And I thought you had a very good story, and I wanted you to talk about your story. I think we've talked a little bit about your story and like things that you've gone through before, but
Yeah.
I've wanted to talk to you again and really understand.
Mm.
And also, I thought it would be valuable for people to listen to what you have to say. So, Yohei,
Yes, of course.
introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So I'm Yohei. I was born and raised in Tokyo, Japan. Then um I am 32 years old. Then after I finished my Bible college, I went to California for 3 years to learn about my identity, leadership, and all of these things in one package.
Yeah.
Then I moved back to Japan after 8 years and a half, and then um I am a full time um I'm now a full time office worker in Tokyo, Japan.
Mm. So you went to Portland Bible College, obviously, right?
Mhm.
And then after that, you went to Bethel, correct?
Yes,
And let's just keep this part really short, but what was something that you learned or something that you got out of being at Bethel?
I have so much takeaways that I can give
Yeah, yeah,
to you guys and for your audience, but I one thing that really struck my heart was how to walk in sonship. It's vital for me as a believer uh, to know who I am in Christ and know where I came from.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so you got that was something that you took away from when you went to California, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. I feel like a lot
Hmm.
of people, it's hard to find, especially in today's generation, there's a lot of people that don't necessarily know their identity or they don't
Of
know who
course.
they are. But
Hmm.
I'm glad that, that's something that you worked on and that you learned while you were in California. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Yohei, so you are full-time office worker right now, right?
Yes.
So what are some of your interests, some of your hobbies that you do so far, like today, just like in general?
My interests are reading books.
Okay.
I'm devoting myself to take on an hour to write my books for my future. As my hobby, I like playing baseball, tennis, and I love camping, hiking,
Yeah.
and
Great.
and I love inviting people to go sightseeing and do some coffee dates with friends.
Yeah, no, that's great. You said you are committing yourself to reading, maybe reading uh 1 hour, like 1 hour a day. Is that what you said?
Writing,
Oh, writing.
writing
Okay, yeah,
hour.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And so writing in Japanese, in English.
English.
Okay. It's English is 英語難しいね.
難しいね。うん。
So yeah, English is hard, and but you do really well, honestly. I think since the time did you have a lot of complications, like when your first couple years in America? Did you feel like it was really, really hard?
Yeah, I was pretty confident enough that people could understand what I was saying in English, but
Yeah,
most of people didn't. I wasn't honestly making sense.
that's okay.
why they don't? Why didn't? Why they didn't understand? But after I realized and or observed my English level, I was pretty overconfident.
had the confidence. No, that's good. I think
Yeah.
that's something that I struggle with learning Japanese a little bit. Is
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I
Mm,
want to be more confident, but still in my brain, just like a little bit, I'm a little scary, a little scared,
mm.
but it was really cool that you came to America and you spent 8 years in America and probably learned so much English, learned a lot of things from other people, learned about yourself and all that stuff. But yeah, that's awesome.
And a ton of slangs.
Oh yeah, yeah, slang, yeah. So
Like Gen Z uses a ton of slangs.
yeah.
But
So we'll go right into it. Let's talk about some of the challenges you had growing up in Japan.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, as so I was not growing up in Christian family, but my mother first led me to Jesus. Then my older sister and my father. Then, but I but people whom I'm surrounded by people whom I surrounded with, uh, saw me as as a weird way,
Uh-huh.
because uh, uh, people consider myself a very autistic, or just like uh, oh, something was wrong with me, like something was wrong with uh, my personality. Then then I uh, then I literally accepted what people are saying around me. Then I I wasn't really peace enough uh, to be surrounded with these people. Then I was physically and emotionally bullied by friends from a kindergarten and uh, uh, elementary school.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
uh, so that so that was my starting point to stumble my words uh, in between. So sorry for not sorry for your audience uh, if I cannot speak
You got it, Yohei. That's okay.
fluent in my words.
Okay,
But
no, no,
yeah,
no, we understand. Yeah,
yeah.
so what happened was
Mm,
maybe from a young age you're bullied
mm,
by,
mm,
when you're young and in elementary school and by some of your
mm,
friends
mm,
and you started to accept that you
mm,
started to accept that, oh, people say that there's something wrong with me, so maybe there's something wrong with me, right? Is that what you're saying?
mhm, yeah.
Okay. And what else? Where else were you? What else were you saying about that?
Yeah, people saw me just uh uh you are not, you haven't what it takes, like you don't you will not promote yourself to flourishing life
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
for my future. And I after I listening to these words, uh I consider myself as incapable and insignificant. Then I have also learning disabilities, so I wasn't able to reach a point of people who study with me. Uh, so I wasn't able to maintain peace in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So did you felt maybe insecure and
insecure, insignificant,
yeah,
incapable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And it was because you felt like you couldn't keep up with maybe some of your classmates or your friends or the people around
mm,
you and maybe what people were saying.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And so going through all of that, how did you
mm.
deal with it?
Um, Uh, long story short, after I moved to another school, which I went to charter school in Tokyo, Japan, from the middle of um, from the middle of sixth grade to finish my high school.
Yeah, yeah.
All of them were believers. Then then I began to realize that something was different. Like people who are in church school didn't speak any words against me, uh, any bad words against me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they didn't physically bully me in the emotionally public thing. While I was pretty insignificant, but I began to realize that something was different. Then uh, uh, then I saw a scripture, Isaiah 43 verse 4. It says, "You're precious in my sight, and I love you forever." Then I realized that I've never felt the love before in my life. Then I uh, and this is the love that I authentically sought for a long time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah,
What's the verse? Isaiah 43:4? Is that what you said?
43 4. Yeah.
43:4. Wow. Yeah, no.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I think it's crazy because I think a lot of people go through that kind of thing where they feel no matter whatever their situation, right?
Mhm.
Even
Mhm.
even for me when I was growing up, sometimes I felt maybe insignificant or not important or people looked down on me or people would bully me and all this
Mhm.
stuff. Um, but it's amazing that almost God revealed to you like, oh hey, you are significant, you are important, you are loved, you're precious, and I think
Yeah.
I mean that's crazy. Like it makes me feel it makes me happy and it brings joy and that's
Mhm.
really cool, Yohei. That's
Mhm.
um, I'm glad that God was able to really uh,
Mhm.
speak that over your life because
Yeah.
honestly,
Mhm.
if that never happened, sometimes I think like, oh, if something didn't happen, where would I be? And
Mhm.
it's
That's right.
in a way like after that situation. So after you went to this, was it a Christian school? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So after you went to this Christian school, the people there were way better than a lot, some of the friends that you had before or whatever. But
Mhm.
if you didn't go there, who
Mhm.
knows when or what God's timeline was for you? Like if you were maybe experiencing more bullying or experiencing more bad stuff before
Mhm.
that actually happened. But that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was so good. Then I was able to that gave me opportunity to know who who Jesus was in a deep way. But still, I'm still in the process of knowing who he is. The moment was I call myself my life turning point.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Ever since I guess your life was kind of turned around in that way. Did you always feel like, oh, I totally believe in Jesus, or do you have like times of, oh, I don't know, or I don't know if he's real, or I don't, because sometimes I think our mind like play,
Mm,
makes us try to not believe, or like,
mhm,
the devil tries to attack us and attack our mind, attack our heart, and
mm.
do you feel like there was times in your life where you felt, oh shoot, I don't maybe you didn't want to follow Jesus, or did you already made the decision that you want to?
I already made a decision to follow Jesus,
Yeah.
but my self awareness and the self consciousness uh, often try to disturb me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then I wasn't a then I wasn't often faithful enough to stay on my lane, based on in terms of I've been tempted to a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think we're all human and we
Mm,
always fight temptation, but I think that's where the community of believers come into play.
Yeah.
That's where we build relationships and good friendships that can help
Yeah.
keep us accountable
Mm,
and
mm,
do those
mm,
things. Do you feel
mm.
like, in what way have you grown? I know this might be a hard question to answer, but in what way have you grown? How have you grown within the past couple of years? Like, is there any specific areas that you've grown in? It could be anything. It could be like, okay, I've been growing to, not be so angry, or I've been
Mm.
growing to whatever, could be anything.
I I have ton of ways to describe,
Yeah.
but it's kind of so hard for me to choose just one or two. But
Yeah,
I would say uh, just people who believe in me, uh, just people who believing in me, uh, are more than I ask.
yeah,
I can imagine. Like one of the communities that I really devoted myself to is a church in my home. At my community in my home church.
yeah,
You've been there before, right?
yeah.
With your wife. Then I was really pumped. Uh,
Yeah, you got excited. No, that was good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was very excited.
yeah. So finding, being devoted to your community and your home church, do you
Mm.
feel like you've been growing a lot within the community?
Yeah, and also while I was in California, and my friends introduced me to meet their friends, and they uh, then also became my friends,
Yeah,
and I've been still connected with them to just talk about life, uh, and just praying over each other, and they gave them prophetic words, yeah, encouraging words,
yeah.
yeah.
You became a part of your community and your home church. In what ways specifically are you growing in right now? How are you trying to grow?
Uh, I've been growing uh, I've been growing integrity and my music giftings and my words of prophetic. Then I consistency of of using my time wisely for writing books.
Tell me about this books that you're writing.
So mainly, what I am writing is how we are possible to collaborate with grace and righteousness. Briefly, I can say grace is God's unmerited favor from heaven. He has given us grace undeservingly, but when righteousness comes, it also enables me to the right position as a believer in order to remember the awesomeness of God's presence. Then I would say why grace and righteousness collaborate each other is they gave us spiritual ways to maintain our belief system into his right order. Like especially when we think about how to make a decision for the future. Race gives us a season to not only fail but also rise up from all the mistakes that I've made. What righteousness does is shows a way to stand on the lane God has given me
Yeah,
in my life.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So is it just, are you specifically writing about just those things?
No, I'm not. I I've been also writing about how how to be childlike as a believer. And then I'm still brainstorming in my mind.
What is your book coming out?
I'm not sure yet.
I would love to read it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah. I think it's powerful when God's allowing you to write down these revelations and these thoughts to not only describe who he is, but who he's made you through him living in you. So it's
Yes,
kind of mixed up, but no, that's
that
awesome.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You're good.
So Yohei, tell me a little bit. What's some like Is it hard being a Christian in Japan? Like, is that a hard thing in your perspective?
It's not a hard thing because Japan is a free religion country.
Oh, right,
Uh,
right,
and uh, when I try to when I tell uh, who he is to others, most of people are pretty open to listen to the gospel, but some of them are not. But I really I've been going after like I've been going after persistence that God uh, God has imparted me to just stay hungry for Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just keep meditating on words of scripture that He has shown me in my life. I think He gives some inputs to tell uh, some answers when people ask me.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. The main religion in Japan is it Buddhism and Shinto?
Yes, yes, Buddhism and Shinto.
Yeah, okay. And what do you know what area? So what areas kind of believe in what? Do you know if like
Uh,
let's say like yeah, let's say if Tokyo is more Shinto or more Buddhist or do you know?
I, I specifically don't know, but all over the Japan has the same uh, 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 same same areas that they believe in the one uh, uh, multiple gods.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. And so since Japan is an open or like free religion, I guess,
Yeah,
country,
wait.
and you say maybe it's not necessarily hard because people are willing to listen, right?
One of the hardest thing that I can think of is most of parents uh, most of parents believe in Buddhism and Shintoism.
Yeah.
Then then um, and although their children want to believe in Jesus, they try to stop believing in because uh, uh, they follow their parents' ways. They just don't want to displease their parents. So so they try to stay loyal to their belief system.
Right, all right. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
that makes sense
mm,
a lot. Yeah. Okay.
mm,
So because if I'm a father and I believe in Buddhism
mm, mm,
and my son or daughter, even though they may believe in Jesus or they believe in
mm.
something, they'll most likely turn to Buddhism because of their parents or their elders, correct? Right?
Yeah. Mm.
Because I mean that's Japan, right? That the whole how the older generation is very very respected.
Uh, that's a few cases because uh, if they're a child, they don't really know about their identity.
Yeah,
They don't know the truth.
yeah.
They are sometimes they are sometimes tempted to compromise their beliefs.
Do you believe that Japan has a big identity crisis?
Yes,
Yeah. Do you feel like more
yes, I
than
do.
America?
Um, I don't say more than America, but uh, are kind of close.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, close.
So if it's fully based off of their parents' belief system, right? Do you feel like there's a lot of people don't like to stand out, right, in Japan? They want to like everybody kind of looks alike. They everyone kind of dresses very similar. They go to the same. They work. They they go home. It's very structured in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you,
That's right.
right. And so, do you feel like that a lot of people's identity in Japan is based off of what they do? So like their work and
Yes, they do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh. Uh. Yeah. That's one of the things they uh, uh, they're so into their identity crisis. Like, if I cannot prove myself as a hard worker, I cannot please anybody. I please my boss, and uh, uh, if I uh, if I do reach a certain standard, reach out my destiny, and also because they have too much hope in their child, unmet expectations on on them to do some things. Although that's pretty stupid.
Yeah. What's one thing you could say to someone who believes in Jesus,
Mm,
and they live in Japan? They live in the Japanese culture.
mm,
They live in Japan.
yeah. Mm,
What would be one piece of advice you could give to someone within the country of Japan? Like maybe
mm,
something that, could help them uh,
mm,
to be strong as they, share the
mm,
gospel, or
mm.
what's something that you could tell to somebody that's a Christian in Japan?
So one piece of advice that I can give to them is be faithful as much as possible to stay on your lane. Uh, yeah, because you have no idea when God invites you to do uh to do such ministry, and while you are in the season of waiting, do not rush,
Yeah.
but be prepared until He lifts it up for the greater calling. No matter what, be faithful uh, to do what God has put in in your heart.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. So now switch questions now.
Yes.
What 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 would you tell your younger self if you saw your younger self dealing with things that you struggled with, and you could tell young Yohei or somebody that's going through something very similar, a piece of advice you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Yeah. So I studied the book of Ezekiel in Redding, California. Then one of pastors told us about uh, appreciating the season that we are in right now. So in the Bible, the book of Ezekiel said, "Don't despise the small beginnings." So no matter what, that's one thing I can say to younger Yohei. No matter how the future awaits, I just don't waste any moment.
That's powerful. Yeah. That's awesome, Yohei. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you so much for asking.
Perfect. Let everybody know before we end this, but I think, do you have it before we close up, do you have anything else that you wanted to say or talk about before we close? Or you feel like you said all that you wanted to say?
I first want to say to you, Stanley, I really uh, uh, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my life story uh, via your podcast. And then I'm really grateful for our friendship. Um, uh, and for your wife, Yoko. Yeah, we uh, we have been gr- we have been great friends for like I don't know how long we've been friends. Just try. I just wanted to say that. So prophetically, feel that this season uh is a season of harvest, and I really feel that you sometimes wait for uh things that you want to do in the future, but I really want to encourage you to just keep abiding in the presence of God first, and see what God does in His due time. Even though are things that seem small and insignificant at first, just be faithful enough and be patient enough to be hopeful, because your time uh, uh, will come, and that will soon happen. That will soon happen. So just want to encourage you to just keep giving him praise, and have a sincere adoration to him. Adoration to him. Yes. Yeah, no problem.
That's awesome. Wow, I wasn't expecting you to just say that. That's awesome. Yeah, I take that word and I appreciate it, and I thank you, thank God for that, that we are able to have this conversation and still be able to continue to talk and to just take some time to not only do this podcast but be able to talk and still have a good relationship and a good friendship. I want you to know that God has many plans for you working in your life. God is allowing you use your words in order to speak, in order to write, and share his word, because he has worked through you. And I think God's given you such a heart, and continue to use that heart, use that joy, to show who Christ really is. God has many plans that will bring you joy, and many people that he'll allow you to meet that will impact your life, and you'll not only impact you, but you'll impact their lives as well. I believe that. And Yohei, thank you so much for doing this with me. Honestly, it's awesome. It's funny that we can still talk and do this. This is cool.
It has been my honor.
Tell us the church you're going to, so that, maybe if somebody wants to hang out with you or meet up with you, like, to let everybody know what you're doing and they can find you.
Yeah, so my home church is located in Nishifunabashi, Chiba Prefecture, and my church name of the church is Hope Church, and I'm a drummer in my church, and I led worship with my drums.
Oh, you led worship? Back in PBC, Yohei and I used to we played drums, and he played drums, I played drums, and yeah, that's awesome that you're still playing.
You are doing such a good job on your drums. Then I still remember that how good you were.
Thank you. I still gotta practice, but
I still need to practice too.
always learning, always getting better. Yeah, Yohei, is there any other places, other things that you want to share? Like any places that maybe, I don't know if you care to share where you are on social media or anything like that. Would you like to share some of those things?
Yes. So I have both Facebook and Instagram. My Facebook name is Yohei Sunshine Endo, and if you go to my Instagram, type YOHEI 0305. That's my Instagram and Facebook name. And but just give me friend request with your message.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, that's good. If you want to follow Yohei and you need encouragement or you need some joy in your life, you need some sunshine.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Message me anytime.
And then Yohei, you said you were single still?
Yeah, single and ready to mingle.
Yohei, thank you so much for doing this little episode with me. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you so much, Stanley. You're the best. You've been such a good friend. No, you already are my good friend.
Thank you. That's funny. 終わった。
終わった。ありがとう。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much for listening to the Concept Pursuit podcast. If you guys like this podcast, make sure to follow Yohei on all those social media platforms down below. And if you are interested in the audio version that comes out 12 hours before the video version, always subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Audible. We will see you in the next video. Peace out.